Hey everyone, MD here with a character guide for Final Fantasy War of the Visions. Today we're taking a closer look at Kain, the spear-wielding dragoon from Final Fantasy IV. He's a limited unit, and his value is heavily dependent on whether you're able to max the vision card, Demon Wall or not, as well as having a highly leveled wind spear, thus making him extremely difficult for free-to-play and light spenders to chase after. However, if you are able to max Kain, the Demon Wall, and a Wind Spear, you will easily have one of the best units in the game, and based off of the Japan server, which is in front of Global, Kain has extremely good staying power. Let's jump into his kit. Kain is an attacker type unit, so to gauge his value, let's compare him to some of the other best attacker type units in the game. The statistics that we're using in this video are based on units that are level 99, all jobs are at level 15, and all additional statistics on their ability boards have been attained. Let's start with attack. If you add up the three categories to get his base attack, Kain rounds out at 336. For comparison, Sidolphus Orlandu comes in at 318, and Goth Stern at 341. This puts Kain on par with the best attacker type units in War of the Visions. We love our agility here at Nerd Night, so let's look at that next. Adding everything for Kain together, he's got 57. Seems respectable. However, the Thunder God smites him with 60, and Emo Stern laughs at both of them with 65. So Kain is a bit lower than his comrades when it comes to agility, but he does have easy ways to boost agility, like the ability Then You've Nothing to Fear, and his primary weapon, the Wind Spear, which, if you use them, allows Kain to have a higher agility than both Orlandu and Stern. Luck is another really important statistic to look at, as it directly relates to a unit's evasion, and thus, their ability to dodge attacks when on the front line in battle. Kain comes in at 200, which if you divide by 2.5 to get the evade gain, equals 80 evasion. Thor has 195 luck, equaling 78 evade, and Kylo Ren's Stern has 228 luck, equaling 91 evade. Kain is on par with the other premier attackers, but this category ultimately goes to Sith Stern. Hit points are obviously important for an attacker type unit in the sense of, can they take more than one hit or not on the front lines? Adding Kain's totals together, he's got 2,481 hit points. Sidolphus has 2,436 hit points, and Phantom of the Opera Stern has 2,336 hit points. Another Kain win, but they all are essentially the same, and if built properly, should take more than one hit in battle. The other statistical area that we'd like to highlight for Kain is move and jump. From a base standpoint, Kain has 3 move and 4 jump. Orlandu and Ruin Stern have the standard 3 and 1. The extra jump is expected on a Dragoon, which gives Kain a lot more versatility on some of the stranger maps in the game, but Kain also has an ability from his TMR, Dragoon's Pride, that gives him an additional 1 move, essentially making him a 4 move, 4 jump attacker type unit, which is incredibly powerful in all modes of the game. From a statistics standpoint, Kain is clearly one of the best in the game to date. Now, if you are fortunate enough to have pulled Kain during the Final Fantasy IV banner, let's talk about how you want to build out his unit. One of the more common questions that people have asked regarding Kain's equipment is whether they should build out an assault type wind spear or a critical type wind spear. For the sake of comparison, we used a +4 wind spear of each type, and I know RNG can play a big role in how a piece of equipment ultimately looks, but this gives a general snapshot of each. First, let's take a look at the assault type wind spear. Fairly decent stat gains across the board, but where the assault type is superior is in the attack category. You can see that this +4 wind spear has a +119 attack. Now, let's jump over to the critical type wind spear. Its attack gain is 8 less than the assault type counterpart, however, it has superior stat gains of note in accuracy and crit. Is a drop in attack worth a significant gain in accuracy and crit? We're going to go ahead and say yes. When you have an attacker-based unit, you want to be able to land your hits. The large gain in accuracy compared to the small gain in potential damage you might deal is worth investing in a critical type wind spear to equip on Kain. On to Kain's abilities and how you want to set up his unit. Subclass is always an important part of any unit's build. When Kain's kit was first released, we were initially drawn to the Viking subclass mainly because of the full-bodied blow ability that deals XL damage. But after quite a few simulations, it became apparent that Kain already deals enough damage. So, the allure of an XL ability quickly lost its luster. Instead, you'll want to set Kain's subclass as Paladin. Simply put, this is because of the Immortal Spirit ability that will allow Kain to survive fatal damage one time in battle. In terms of PvP, this is going to make a huge difference. Regarding Kain's support abilities, you're going to want to optimize Kain's damage output as an attacker type unit. Because of this, Pride of the Dragoons, which raises attack and lowers defense, and Viking Lore, which raises attack and hit points, are the way to go. For Kain's reaction ability, you could go one of two ways. I have it set to Paladin's Guard to try to offset some of the extra damage that Kain might take from having Pride of the Dragoons equipped. But you could also go with Counterattack Lance if you'd like a chance to deal additional damage outside of Kain's turn, which might be particularly useful for PvP. In terms of which abilities you want to enhance first, the aforementioned support and reaction abilities are obvious, and Immortal Spirit if you go with a suggested Paladin subclass route. But beyond those, Dragon Raid, which is Kain's large damage dealing jump, and then You've Nothing to Fear, which raises agility and attack, are the ones to max first. Let's move on to Vision Card. There's really only one choice for Kain, and that's Demon Wall. When maxed, it's going to give Kain an additional 132 attack and 26 luck, which is an additional 10 evade. Under the limited bestowed effects, you'll notice that it gives Kain, specifically, Pierce attack up 20, as well as attack up 30%. Without this Vision card, Kain is still a premier attack type unit in War of the Visions. With this Vision card maxed, Kain is the premier attack type unit in War of the Visions. If you have Kain, Demon Wall is an absolute must. The party ability of Pierce attack up 25 also makes a combination of a max Kain and a max Glashella nearly unbeatable. If you don't have Demon Wall, a good backup would be dashing over a snowy field just because it'll help give a Pierce attack up as well as an agility gain. If you don't have dashing over a snowy field, you're going to have to settle for the mega rare Ochu to increase that Pierce attack and gain some attack up. For Kain's Esper, one of the most logical choices is Ifrit. Not only does the Esper provide plus 88 attack, its training board has attack up 7%, evasion rate up 7%, and pierce attack up 15%. Now, if you don't have Ifrit, a solid backup choice would be Bomb, as it provides attack up 20%, evasion rate up 7%, and pierce attack up 10% on its training board. And finally, let's see how my Kain, who is set up following the parameters laid out in this video, performs in battle. Kain's first turn, I use Dragoon's Pride to increase Kain's move and build AP. You can see I'm using a piercing chain team with Glashella, Victora, and Ramada. Kain's second turn, I use Then You've Nothing to Fear to raise agility and attack. Fast forward to Kain's third turn, he deals over 1,000 damage with his base attack. But what I really want to show y'all is how much damage Kain can deal quickly in a piercing chain. So here I'll start building the chain with Glashella, followed by a basic attack by Victora. And finally, you can see that Kain can deal 4,356 damage using his base attack on a 4 chain. Or 9,999 damage using his Dragon Raid ability. Just ridiculous. Overall, Kain is one of the best damage dealing units in the game if set up properly. If you liked this video, please show the love, give us a sub, and we'll catch you next time.